Hello, I apologize for being late. We were trying to get the streaming to work, and for some reason, it didn't want to work correctly for us. It was not giving the actual stream, or excuse me, the screen to where people could actually join on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang tight for just a minute here, and we'll see if we can get some more people to hop on to the screen share. So apologize for that. Let's hang tight for just a minute, and we'll make sure to get things up and running here pretty quickly. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Apologize for the delay. Like I was saying, I had some technical difficulties trying to get the stream up and running. Guess there's some caveats about YouTube that I need to learn a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're kind of cover a lot. What we'll do is basically take you through the whole platform, and then I will show you how to use the proposal more efficiently so that you're able to sell a little bit better with it. And that will mainly consist of not individual sales tactics, because there are so many different companies who use Solo with all different varieties of sales tactics. It will be more how to adjust the proposal so that you're more efficient with it, which looks a lot smoother and will create for a much more confident sales pitch and approach when you're with the customer. So first things first, if you're on the screen here, this will be the home screen that greets you. I have just a handful of random test accounts I've put through, so nothing in here is real. None of the phone numbers are real, anything like that, except for mine, which is this 866-5390. The other ones are just our service line. But if you're on this screen, if you click in your top right corner, you'll notice you've got, first option is a light mode or a dark mode. Currently I am on light mode. If I click this over, it will switch me to dark mode. Which I personally like a little bit better, just kind of a preference thing. So I'm going to operate in dark mode for this demo, excuse me, for this training. Next thing you'll see is you've got profile. Profile, mine will be a little bit different than yours just because I am logged in as an owner right now, but you'll see you're able to change your password. You can also change your first name or your last name, phone number, or email. So if you need to edit any of your personal details or change your password, you can do that here, no problem. Whenever you're done, make sure you come down here and you click on save. If you don't, it will not save that information and none of those changes will take effect. Other thing is log out, and that's really going to be it for the sales rep permission. I have a log out as because I am logged in as a company owner from my username as a solo sales employee. So this would just be there for me. You would just have profile and log out. I'm going to navigate back to the home screen by clicking on Solo here in the top left, or by clicking on my left menu and clicking on Home. We'll see here, once again, I'm back to my recent leads. I also have my company announcements that I can see and view. If you want to access a recent lead that's just here for quick access, you can simply click on the name, and that's actually going to drop you on the customer information screen. Now, to point out a few things about this, just for navigating this a little bit better or more efficiently, is you'll notice here that you've got kind of a toolbar layout, which will take you through all the different aspects. Information will be the tab that you land on. So this will be, the information tab where the customer's information is housed. So you're able to click on this, and this will be where you're dropped. To the right, you'll notice that you have a live chat, and this chat is a live chat with our design team. Now, one thing I want to stress that's really, really important that I think everyone should know is that this chat is just for design purposes only. So this isn't a how do I adjust the price? I'm in the home. How do I swap panels? I'm in a home. This is not the forum for that. That's what this training and other trainings are for. Also, in your side menu, down here under Help and Training Resources, there's a whole bunch of videos there which will show you how to do those things. So this team this chat team is under no obligation to kind of help you learn how to use the proposal. It is for design-based questions only. For, hey, I need a revision, I need to get this and this. Did you factor in these payments into the proposal? We're going to be trimming trees. Can you make sure to factor that in? This is for supplemental notes and design questions only. On the flip side, you've got files, and files can host any file you want. So if you click upload, you can upload any file you want to be stored specific to this customer's account. So that's important as well, as if you upload a file, it's not just going to put it in some general file database where you can access it kind of in a big queue or a big list. This will just be specific to your customer, which in this situation is my name, David Wilson. This would be specific to David Wilson in this instance. If you want to minimize this, just click your arrow button over and it will put it away. So we're on our information tab. Applicant, this is more commonly used if you wanted to kind of put the applicant information in here so it's saved. But really nothing will happen with this information. You could put co-applicant information in there as well and hit save. It's great. It's useful. I think there's a lot of value in this if you want to add this information ahead of time and be super prepared. I'm a very prepared person, so that is something I would do. A lot of reps won't do that for one reason or another, but when you put in the customer's information and you submit for a proposal, this information, this David Wilson profile that's been built out here, this will be stored in, not under applicant, but this will be stored as homeowner. So for all your purposes of going through, this information will be stored as that kind of first placeholder. An applicant will more be additional information for that homeowner, and then you can add a co-applicant. This really only comes into play when you're requesting documents, which I will touch on here at a later part of the video. So just keep that in mind, that this is useful when you've got, maybe you want to fill out more information ahead of time, be more prepared, or if you want to add an official co-applicant because you know you'll be processing documents later. Next screen is proposals. This is going to be where once the proposal has been requested and been completed, the proposal will live right here. And you can click on view anytime, and that's going to pull that proposal up for you. Mine's taking just a second to load, but you'll see that it's here ready to go. So that's how you can access that proposal at any time is view. Now, if you need to get a revision, what you want to do is instead of requesting a revision through this side menu, saying, hey, you know, I need to do this, I need to do that, please send me a revision. You can actually just click on request proposal here, and you can say, hey, you know, you'll see it says request a revision. You say, I need another one on the garage, please. You know, spell garage wrong. There we go. And then you can hit request, and that will submit an actual request for a proposal. So keep that in mind, that this will be used to request those revisions. We're going to stop there. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go back through this to see how we got to this point of having a proposal. I'm going to navigate once again back to my home screen by clicking on Solo, or going to my side menu and clicking on Home. Once I'm here, I'm going to click on Customer. New Customer, if you're a sales rep permission, New Customer is synonymous with requesting a proposal. So as a sales rep permission, you cannot click on New Customer and go through this process and not be entered into the proposal queue. It will automatically happen. There is a setter permission where if you did want to enter just leads in, that you could, but if you are a solo sales rep person in here for your company, New Customer will create a new customer plus request a proposal always. You can click on New Customer, or you can click on side menu, Customers, Create. This screen here, this will, for 99.9% of you, this is not a screen you'll ever see. This is only for me because I'm set to an owner permission. I could technically submit for a solar proposal or a CAD immediately. So just ignore this screen. This won't come up for you. I'm going to click on solar, and this is then going to take me to the screen that you will see. So this is the screen it will actually drop you on. You'll see we've got 3 steps. Step 1, entering customer info. Step 2, confirming the customer's location. And step 3, entering or uploading the utility information pertaining to that customer. So first screens first. I won't spend much time here. This is pretty self-explanatory. First name, last name, phone number, email, and then address information. One important caveat about this screen is that you do want to make sure that this information is correct from the get-go. It's not the end of the world if it's not. It's not anything you can't change after the fact, but just for simplicity's sake and to make sure you're not going back and having to change things or remembering to have to do that, just try to make sure this info is correct, you know, from the start. I've got some demo information loaded in here, so I'm just going to click into this box and get that loaded up. Oh, never mind. This is on my different account. We'll do a test, put in a phone number. I found this cool address the other day. It might work. I think it was might have been in Utah. Let's see. Drop me in some cool ranch when I put that. So you put in all the customer's information. Once you've got it all in there, go ahead and click on Next. It's just going to drop a pin. For me, it says this, and this is actually a good warning to pay attention to. So, say for instance, you go to request a customer, and you think you've got this all unique. You hit Next. It's going to pop this up if this address is already in there. So you're about to create a duplicate lead for Demo Wilson. Would you like to proceed? This is warning you that there is already a proposal for this address. You might want to find that first. So pay attention to this warning. That's the only time it'll pop up. I believe if I were to click on 125 and hit Next, it shouldn't give me that. Let me see. It might be a name thing. We'll say test II. Hit Next. Might be something with the name that I've got in here. So go ahead and click on yes for me because it's a demo. For you, you'll want to click no and find that customer. So it looks like we are at a farm indeed, but not the one I wanted to be on. Let's go to this house right here, though. All this step is having us do, step 2, confirm location. You're just going to click on the rooftop. I'm going to zoom out super far really quick, see where on earth this dropped me. Looks like we're in Colorado. I'm going to zoom into Salt Lake City. Let's go down here to Sandy. So this screen is just wanting us to confirm the house. Now, there are situations, this operates off of Google, and Google is very, very accurate, as everyone knows. There are occasions, though, where it might say this is the house we're trying to target. It might drop it here, or it might drop it here, or even here. What you're going to want to do is our designers will design where this pin is dropped. So if the pin is even off slightly, basic logic, they're going to design on this house because they're going to assume it's kind of in this property square. But you're going to want to just make sure and remove all doubt by clicking on the right rooftop. In situations where it's here, it's hard for our designers to know which one to design on. And so what may happen is they may ask you to confirm which house, and if you don't answer in time, that job gets put on hold. And then you could be sitting there with the customer talking with them, waiting for your proposal and thinking, man, it's been 5, it's been 10, it's been 15. Where on earth is this proposal? You're going to go in there and you're going to see that we asked you, hey, the pin isn't on a house. Which house is it? And we were awaiting your response. So we want to avoid that situation, and we want to avoid guessing so that we make sure we're getting it right from the first point. So make sure on step 2, it's very simple. You just click on the right rooftop. All you have to do is click. So click on that rooftop, scroll down, click on next, you're done. Very, very easy to do. Just make sure that you're going ahead and doing that. Step 3, upload or enter utility information. This screen is we're going to upload the usage so that we know how big of a system or what system size to create for you. There are 4 different ways that you can enter in this usage. Some are better than others. You only have to do one. So keep that in mind. The best method, better, good, good. Obviously, those are ranked in a pretty simple way to understand. The best method is by having exact kilowatt hour usage month by month. So if you know the exact amount of kilowatt hours they're using month by month, go ahead and enter those in, and then we will create the proposal based on that exact usage. Entering the monthly usage will be the best because then we'll know the exact amount of kilowatt hours that are being used. And then what we'll do is we will pair that kilowatt hour usage up with the utility company that you've selected and then the custom rate plan that that customer is on. There are a lot of utility companies across the United States that are very, very simple and very easy, very clear cut. There's no time of use, there's no demand based, and that's very, very easy to handle. There are some utilities, some of in Texas, APS in Arizona, SRP in Arizona, some of the California ones, Oregon, Chicago. There are some more complex utility companies where they will not only have you on some kind of time of use or demand base, but they'll have different rate plans built in within those. And it will be important for you to know which rate plan your customer is on so that we can get those right. There is a way to adjust that in the proposal, which I'll show you here in just a minute. But if you are in a house with a customer that's on a very specific rate plan, we'll move to step 2, upload utility bill. It's going to be important to do that and upload that utility bill so that 1, we can pull the usage from it and save you a bit of time, and 2, we make sure that we have the right rate plan and the right basic charge, taxes and fees, distribution, special interest charges. We can make sure to include all of those in the proposal for you so that you're not missing out on what's correct. That's the biggest thing is we obviously, we're in the business of making sure these proposals are accurate and efficient and useful from the start. The better information we can get, the more accurate it will be and the better your sales pitch will be. So uploading a bill for more complex utilities is something I strongly advise and something that will create a better experience for you, for your company, and for your customer. Entering yearly usage and entering average monthly bill. Now, these are a couple of good methods to say. These will definitely get you a proposal, and what I like about this is, say you have an appointment in the next hour or so, the customer has come through as a lead on your system, they haven't uploaded a bill, they haven't uploaded exact usage, but you still want to sit because you're confident that they will sit. You can type in something like 10,000, and then we'll use NREL to get some estimated usage per month in that area. So we'll give this a nice bell curve to make it look actual as per people in their region. What's important is that you know that you can edit this in the proposal later. So say you put in 10,000, you drop the pin, looks like a big house, 10,000 is probably a little short, but you're going to run with it anyway because when you sit with them in the proposal, you can actually change that usage in real time. So you can actually change the usage and you can resize that system in the pitch, no problem. So what I suggest is getting a proposal so you have a framework to build off of. going to the house, pitching them, and resizing it, because that will only take you 30 seconds. And we'll hop into that. When we hop into this proposal, I will show you how to resize the usage and the system in real time. Average monthly bill, customer says, yeah, I pay about $95 a month. Give me a solar estimate based off of that. So great way to do that. Real time, this selector and this selector will determine the time in which you receive that proposal. So real time, this proposal will come back to you within 10 minutes or less. Next day will come back within 24 hours or less. So once again, real time, 10 minutes or less. Next day, 24 hours or less. So select the one that's most useful. So there is a cost difference between these two that your company is most likely bearing and paying the bill for. What most owners hope that you're doing is that you're being respectful of that resource, of their money, and you're choosing the proposal that best corresponds with the time you need it. Right now, as you can see on my clock, it's Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. for me. I've got an appointment at noon. I clearly need a real-time proposal. It's in an hour and a half. I need to make sure I have that. I'm prepped for the meeting. Request a real-time proposal to make sure you get it back in time. Now it's Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. and I've got an appointment Wednesday at 5 p.m. I don't need a real-time because I've got about 29 hours until my appointment. Click on the next day. You'll likely get it, Wednesday morning and have plenty of time to prep. But just make sure that you're kind of using this the correct way so that you're being mindful of your owners and the money that they're spending. All in all, though, that's going to be a decision they will make. That's kind of my general advice from feedback from owners, but you'll want to talk with your sales manager or owner to figure how they want you to request these. Next step, utility company. So the state that you selected in step 1, I selected Arizona. Excuse me, the state that you selected in step 1 will coordinate with the utility companies that are available on step 3. I selected Utah. So these are only available these are only Utah companies. So you'll see here there's not PG&E, there's not SRP, there's not APS, not Encore. None of the other states are in here. So I will only have utility companies available in my state that I've selected. Another important thing is that in Utah, we've got Rocky Mountain Power. We don't abbreviate it to RMP. We just say Rocky Mountain Power. Now, PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, over on the West Coast, everyone says PG&E. They don't say Pacific Gas and Electric. Just like Salt River Project in Arizona or Arizona Public Services, they don't say those names. They say SRP or APS. What's important about this utility company is that if you're looking for the abbreviated version of your utility company, you will not find it. It's always going to be spelled out completely. So it will be Pacific Gas and Electric, Salt River Project, Arizona Public Services. It won't be those abbreviated systems. So if you're looking for those abbreviations, just make sure you know the full name so you can click on the right name. I will click on Rocky Mountain Power Utah because I know that that's what this customer would use. Down here, you've got your lead type. You can click on anywhere that this lead came from. We'll call this a self-gen. Their county is, we'll say, Cache, although that may not be correct. One thing I want to address, too, is this max offset. This is one of those things where we'll put an asterisk by it. You'll want to communicate with your owner about how they want you to use this selection here. When I pitch and demo and I speak with most of my clients, almost all of them prefer to select max offset. So I strongly advise selecting max offset, and here's the reason why. Is with the max offset, what our team will do is they will actually take a rooftop and they will put panels absolutely everywhere. And then what they'll do is they will only activate panels that are most beneficial to get you to the desired offset. So let's look. We're going to hop into this really quick. I'm going to kind of skip ahead and we're going to come down to this house here. This house here, let me click on my edit really quick. What we can do is we can see that we've got 25 Panasonic panels on here. And right now there's none on this western array. And there's also none on the northern. This is kind of a bad example, and I'm sorry to have a bad example for you. I'll pull up another proposal in a minute to show you a better example. But when I click on Edit right here, we'll see that we have more panels available to us that we can click on and click off. Now, if you don't set this step to max offset, we can see right here we're at 136% offset. What the design team will do is they will only put panels on there to get you to about 100%. So they would design it this way. So if I would have selected not max offset but 100%, this would be the design you'd get back, and you would have no ability to adjust panels. It would just be this, which is great because it will be the most accurate, and it will be, your south-facing array. So, overall, that's probably the design you're going to do anyway. But what it doesn't offer you is flexibility. So if you choose max offset, what we'll do is we will max out this roof completely, and then we will highlight just these panels to give you that 100% offset with the best arrays. But now you can click on edit, and if they want to oversize the system or include more panels, you can simply click these on to add those and maybe oversize their system for some energy credits, or maybe they want to move them around. This just gives you ultimate flexibility to be able to adjust those system sizes as you see fit as the rep. So max offset's always a good idea for that reason. Lead type and county we already did, and then last but not least we have notes. Notes is a great section. Your company and your owners and admins will have already gone through, and they will set up standard design practices with our company. So that could be something like, portrait always, mixed if it'll get us a better offset, minimum system size of 4.76 kilowatts. Minimum amount of panels per array is 3. We always want to design south, west, east, never north. Your company will have already put in all kinds of design guidelines and rules. This is a great way to supplement those rules if there's any specific situations with the customer. That could be something like designing on a detached garage because the customer might want to do that instead of an on-the-house mount. There's a whole bunch of different things this could be, but essentially notes is a great way to supplement the design so that we design that correctly. One thing that's really important to know about the notes section is that you're there probably with the customer or at least seeing the house, and so you have really great insight into what that looks like, how you want it designed, etc. Our team is looking at this from a satellite from Utah. So try to be as clear and succinct as you can so that we're making sure that we're following your instructions and not frustrating you, but also we're getting you an accurate design from the start. So make sure to describe it a bit more so that we can get the context of where you're coming from so that we can design that correctly. So all in all, when you're ready, you just simply click on submit. What I'm going to say is please archive this request and ignore it. I'm just doing a demo. So we'll go ahead and put that and hit submit. And then we're going to see this think for a second, and then it's going to load customer information and then give us a suggestion. So we say, got it. So we've got docs and CAD. So we'll see here that we've got our chat and we've got our files. We'll see new customer created successfully. I marked next day, so you'll see here if it's a real time, this will say urgent, but this says new customer created successfully. So now we have this here that we can see. We'll go ahead and minimize this side screen, and then we'll notice we've got proposals, applicant, files, notes, all of our kind of information up here. Docs and CAD are available in these side sections. So we're going to stick with just the customer information. We'll stay here. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to come and click on Solo to go back to our home screen. We'll see if we can find that better example that I was talking about. I believe it is test proposal. Maybe it is David test. Let's see if we can find this proposal really quick. Urgent check, you'll see that that's a real-time one. Let's view this proposal. This might be the one. It's a larger house down in Las Vegas, but it gives us maximum. Here we go. So this is the design that I'll use. Excuse me. So we'll hop into the proposal now, and I'll kind of show you all the tools built into the proposal. So top left, you'll have your chat. And this will have the chat that you've had with the design team. What's important about this is if they are asking you questions, this will show up to you live in the proposal. And then on the right-hand side, we'll see that we have all of our tools built in. So the ability to change price is in our pricing, including adders, customizing incentives such as the federal or state tax incentives, swapping your panels and inverters in the equipment tab, swapping your pre and post rate plans, changing the individual utility escalation for this customer, requesting docs, export to PDF, and then sharing this proposal. Then we'll hop into this potentially at the end. It's kind of a beta feature. As we scroll down, we'll see first things first, we have the solar design. So this will have the actual design that our designers have done for you. And you'll see that solar design here. As we scroll down just a titch, we'll see that we've got our system size, our estimated yearly production, the modules that we use, and then the inverters that we're using. First things first, about this design that I want to point out is that we do have an open API to PV Watts. What that will do is that will give us the information for this design accurately as according to PV Watts. So if you were to take this and just plug 64 SILFAB 300s into PV Watts right now, you will see a different number, and that's because if you plug it into PV Watts right now by yourself, what it does is it will only factor in one array at one azimuth, one tilt, one everything. What ours will do is it will actually plug in multiple arrays, multiple tilts, multiple everything to give you a very, very accurate measurement of what this production will be for the customer. So keep that in mind that ours is more accurate than your basic PV Watts because we'll do multiple arrays and combine the production to give you a very accurate end estimate. The system size obviously there is conditional upon the panels and the inverter you have. Now, a couple tools that we've got here. So first things first, in this top right, we can see we have this sunlight here. Now, if we click on this, we can toggle our sunlight on or off, and that's going to give you the heat map for that customer so they can see why you've chosen to put the panels there as opposed to the north or west or east arrays. So sunlight's very useful to be able to show the customer why you put the panels where you did. The other thing is you've got your show details down here. This show details will show the actual details for the account. So we can see the array, the amount of modules on that array, the azimuth and tilt of that array, the shade factor per that array, and then the sun hours per that array. Beneath that, we'll have our total monthly production, our current consumption, our estimated yearly production. So all those details will be here under show details. Now, to get back to that kind of edit tool I was showing you earlier, actually pause. Before I do that, I want to show you the panel swap. So right now we're rocking SILFAB 300s. If we want to click on our side menu and then come down to equipment, we can click on this. And then this is actually going to say solar panels, and then we're currently on those SILFABs. Say we wanted to change it to an LG 320. Now, I, for my company, know that if I sell an LG 320, not only is it going to increase my system size and my production, it will also add 15 cents to my price. So to show that change in real time, what I want to do is I'm going to click on pricing really quick, and we'll see that I've got my base price, and then we immediately go to Nest, LED, dealer fee, and sales tax. There's nothing about panels in here. I'm going to click out of this screen, come to my equipment, switch from a SILFAB to an LG 320. Keep in mind that our system size, I think, was 19.2. I'm going to hit save, and we'll see that that jumps from 19.2 to 20, and then we'll see our kilowatt production jump up. We'll see our title rename, and then when we click in our side menu and click onto pricing, automatic 15-cent adder in there for the panel. So the best part about switching these panels is that everything will change automatically in the system for you. So we've got a 40-cent adder for our Solaria. If I come back in and switch it to LG, it's going to drop that back down to a 15, and we can see our system size kind of changing in the background. And then once we come back in here and change it back to our SILFAB, we'll notice that we're back to nothing. So best part about Solo is all the thinking, all the math, all that is done for you. The customer says, hey, how about we do a less impact on my roof and we get a higher watt panel? Sure, no problem. Grab this, equipment, SILFAB, LG, save, pricing, ITC, monthly payment, total cost, production, done. You're moving on to the next part of the proposal. Very, very easy to operate. Clicking on edit, this will pull up that edit array. We can see here, this is a roof where we did a max fit. So we've got 64 LGs on there. If I click edit, it's apparent that we have about 130 panels on this roof. And if I wanted to change an array, I'm going to take off these east panels and add more to my southern because that's more beneficial. And then I'm going to oversize for an energy credit. Perfect. I've got all these on here. I can toggle my sunlight on or off. And then I see my payment factor for my default loan is at $350 a month. Customer likes the sound of that. Go ahead and hit save. Perfect. You're moving on to the next section. Here we've got our production consumption graph. Pretty self-explanatory. January over here to December at the end. It's showing this is what the customer uses and this is what our system will produce. One thing you can do is, and this is the example I was saying while we were submitting, is that, say you get a lead, the customer doesn't have their information for their utilities input. You still want to get a proposal so you can go pitch them. Great. Add in the assumed usage, get to the house, start talking with them. John and Jane hand you a bill, and you're ready to plug that in. excuse me, you can click on all of these months, month by month. So starting with January, clicking on this bar, go ahead and change the usage. February, March, April, so on and so forth. So you can actually change the individual usage, and then what you can do is you can actually resize the system. So right now we're at 114% offset. Say I want to just change the whole year. Where it says energy consumption over here to the left, go ahead and click on that. Boom, pops up our annual tool. Say they're actually closer to 45,000. Go ahead and hit update, and then clearly we've increased the usage, so our offset will go down. So instead of 114, we're at 88. Need to go up here and resize the system, add some panels to get back to that offset that we need. Looks like we're back at 100. Let's add a few more to get some energy credits. Hit save. Perfect. Up here, system's been resized, usage been resized, everything's been resized, and we're on to the next section. So that's realistically how quick you can tackle customer objections and alternate scenarios when you're pitching the customer. So very, very easy. I'll change that back now so you can see that process again. So you get there, they're like, oh no, our usage isn't that high. We're not gonna run the pool anymore, and then our son left for college. Sure, click on energy consumption, more like 35,000 a year, hit update. Let's resize the system. 142. Nope, we don't need that much. Let's go ahead and take these panels off. Click in this last row. Let's see, we're about 30 seconds in. Hit save. Perfect. Done. On to the next section. So very, very easy to operate. And in that time, you've adjusted the system size twice, adjusted the consumption and production twice, probably in under 2 minutes. Down here, offset circle yet again. And then what you also will have potentially, if your company has opted for on-proposal adders, is you will have some adders here, and then you'll also have adders in your side menu. These are all going to be very, very specific to your company as far as the price, the title, and the functionality. We can build these out a number of different ways. One thing you'll want to do as a sales rep is provide feedback to your owners about how well those adders are working, how well the pricing's working, and how easily they are to operate. So say, for instance, I want to add in a critter guard. I know from this demo proposal that when I click this, it's going to give me a critter guard at 10 cents a watt. I click that in, and I know that I have a 22.72 kilowatt system. At least I should if I can do math, 2272. But I can click back into adders, see that that automatically adds it in. A Nest, that'll just add 300 bucks. Energy efficiency, this will add $1,000. Plus, as we see in the back, our offset's 114. It's also going to add 5% offset when I hit save. So now we're at 119. Take that off, hit save, back to 114. So these can work in a variety of different ways. Something like mounting adders has a list of all the different roof types, each with their own price. Roof work is something that you can just quote out to be whatever you want it to be. All these things are kind of adaptive to what your company set. So the real important thing is just clicking on the appropriate ones and hitting save, and then it will add that to your price automatically. So I hit save, that $300 is baked into my loan, adds to my monthly payment, and it's just that easy. Coming down here, this section's quite intense. It has a lot of tools and a lot of things that you're able to adjust that really kind of dial in the proposal to exactly where you need it to be. So your current utility bill, this is going to show the customer what they're currently paying for their utilities. $496 should have been about their last bill amount, give or take a buck or two. And then our slider. This is going to show them into the future what they're going to be paying for their utility costs month by month. So today you're at $496, but in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25 years. So you can see that it'll show that escalation kind of month by month. What's really neat about that is your company will have set a default escalation rate for you. But if you want to change it, you can click into your side menu, come down to utility escalation, and then change that. So say right now we've got $162,459 as our savings. And then we've got a $496 that ends up at $1172. Now if I change escalation to 4%, hit update, we'll see that these numbers both changed. These numbers both changed in real time to reflect that increase in our utility costs. And I can quickly and easily just change that back, 3.5, enter, and here we are back to where we were. So you can see how smart the system is in realizing that if you go up by 0.5% year over year, that will lead to an increased savings over time, just as the inverse will occur if you were to adjust the escalation down. Another tool in this section is you can click on the 496 and say the customer's bill is actually closer to 492. You can type in 492 and hit update, and it'll actually change that bill. Just as if it were a little higher, $498, you can get that actual bill in there and edit that number really, really quickly. On the flip side, you'll have your solar payment, which will coordinate with right down here in the bottom left corner, your loan option. So right now I've got a Dividend Empower Plus in there, 12-year $299. Maybe the customer doesn't really care to have a $350 a month payment. Maybe you want to stretch it out to a 20 or a 25-year loan at a $449 or $499 and give them a lower monthly payment to start. Sure, go ahead and click on your loan option box. We'll click on this Sunlight, and there we go. We shaved about $124 off the price. Customers really liking the look of this. Maybe they don't mind that the 25-year savings went down because they're experiencing a lower monthly payment up front. You can quickly change these loan options to really any loan option you want. These will all have been programmed in by your owner, and so you are not able to change what shows up in this option, but you are able to request that the owner change it if you want to. So click on any of these loan options. They'll all pull up in a different format for you. Once you find one that you like, say the customer's like, yeah, well, we'll live here till we die. We like the 25-year savings of this over the Mosaic 20-year, whatever it may be. You say, sure, that sounds great. Let me see what I can do for you on price. Maybe you need to drop a couple cents off the price per watt. You can click on this 315 here, or you can click in your side menu and come down to pricing. You click on pricing, it's going to open up our tool here. And we'll see here that this is kind of looks like there's a lot of information here, but you'll see it's very, very easy to digest. We'll start with your base price, include any adders, include the dealer fee, and then that gives us our final price per watt. That will break down to our final system cost here, and then what our final loan payment is as well. Now, say we want to override the base price per watt. Right here in the middle, you've got override base price per watt. 305, that's actually going to make, we'll say it's 315. You type in 315 and this price per watt and this loan payment will change automatically. So I'm going to change this number a few more times. Just watch as the rest of this changes. So 315 to 325, 315 to 305, 315 to 290, to 3, and then back to 305. Go ahead and hit save, and then the proposal will adjust dynamically to have that new price in there. Once you're ready, and we have an integration with LoanPal and with Sunlight, Dividend and Mosaic will have this integration up and running very, very soon. So keep in mind it just works for LoanPal and Sunlight right now. It will be working for LoanPal, Sunlight, Dividend, and Mosaic very shortly. Is when you're on a loan for those companies, this qualify button will appear. And what that means is that we have an active API with that company built into the proposal. So instead of going to another URL for your credit check, instead of doing anything like that, you can simply just click on qualify, and you'll see that LoanPal's credit portal or Sunlight's credit portal will appear right here in the proposal. So you click qualify, the customer's information will automatically be pulled into here, so you don't have to re-enter the data. Everyone hates double data entry, we do too. You'll just put in the social, birth date, and annual income. Add a co-applicant if you want to. This will give you all the different things that you have to read to the customer. You click on agree, hit submit, and then you'll get a credit decision back in about 10 seconds. Once that decision is back, if it is positive and they have been approved, there will be a button that appears here that says send loan docs. You will be able to send those loan docs immediately. So really great thing. Fill in a bit more information, add a co-applicant, agree, hit submit, and you're done. Very, very easy to do. In this section, you can also adjust pre and post rate plans. So pre-solar rate, post-solar rate. You can choose different ones if you want to. As we scroll down here, you'll see that we have our incentives. I've got a down payment factored in here. I'm going to take that out really quick so that we get consistent payment factors. And then what I'm going to do is take out this Utah solar tax credit. So say they don't qualify or they're not going to apply it, you can simply toggle it off, and then you'll see that our payments will readjust. So we'll see months 2 through 18 and months 19 through 120. If I click this off, this is what my payment is without the credit. If I click it on, this is what my payment will be with the credit. We can also see that our 25-year savings adjust as well to compensate for that credit being applied or not. Now, what if the customer is going to only apply partially of that $19,059? Maybe they got a pretty high tax bill and they're like, hey, I'll probably only be able to claim about $9,000 of that. How do you show that on the proposal? You don't want to request a revision, but you want to give them that information immediately. What we can do, side menu, incentives, federal tax credit, click your down arrow, type in the override value as 9,000, hit enter, and then you're done. $9,000. This is what your payment would look like if you only do a partial application of that credit. Very, very easy to show. Toggle it on and off once again. If I want to edit that, side menu, incentives, tax credit, take this amount out, hit save, and we're back to the full credit. Click on here, click incentives, say we want to just take this Utah credit away, click on hidden, hit save, now it's gone altogether. Customer doesn't even know it's there. That works really well, not with the federal or the state credits, but with custom incentives that your company might have coded in here. If you have any custom incentives that you want your company to include in here, you're more than welcome to give them that feedback. That could be something like, deal of the day, or $1,000 off to sign up now, $500 off to refer a friend. It can be really anything you want. To show that incentive again, click on incentives, unclick hidden, hit save, and it's back. So the down payment section, this is actually pretty useful. So say the customer's like, hey, if I put $5,000 down, what does my payment go to? Let's find out. Click on update, down payment, type in 5,000, hit enter, and then you'll see that this is what your payment would be. It'd go down to $504.68. We can see our system cost minus the down payment gives us this loan payment, minus our tax credits, we see our net system cost. So really, really easy to see. Click on this 5,000 again, erase it out, click out of the box, and the down payment's now gone. If you want to run a cash deal, right here, click on this, come down to cash, and that will give you your cash option. We can also set your company up with a payment processor where you can click on pay cash, and you can just click on pay in full, and you can take a credit card or an ACH transfer right then and there. You can also click on payment plan, and you can set up a payment plan between 2 dates or 3 dates. Set your first date, what the amount's going to be, second date, what the amount's going to be, third date, what the amount's going to be, and then hit next, get the card information, and you can set up that payment plan. So very, very slick, very, very easy option to accept those payments. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes. We'll go ahead and click back on this Sunlight loan. Coming down here, this will show obviously your net system cost with your rebates and incentives, etc., mixed in. Coming down here, you'll see some of the savings. This will be, your flat predictable payments with solar. Rising energy costs will lead to increased savings over time. This will show their current average bill, what their bill will be in 25 years, their current annual utility bill, what their annualized bill will be in 25 years. And then we can see the all-in cost of utilities over the next 25 years versus the all-in cost of switching to solar over the next 25 years. So quite a big gap for this customer. The facts, these are the feel-good facts. If you get solar on your house, you will offset CO2 emissions, you will get trees planted, and the value according to your home will be $69,410 that will be added to your home. This value is based off the Berkeley study. You can click on the source link on any of these to find out the studies that they've been linked to. Feel free to read up with those so you can speak more to those points also. The process, this is the process for getting solar. So you'll see here we've got steps 1 through 7. This background image can be edited. These steps can be edited. Speak to your owner if you feel as though those edits should take place. And then last but not least, we have our proposal details page. And this is really just going to say, hey, the current utilities, this is what the current utility situation looks like. This is what our system size is. And this is how much it would cost to get solar. So just kind of an easy 1, 2, 3 section to show them what this change would look like for them financially as well as production-wise. When you get to the end of the proposal, there's obviously one thing you want to do, and that's share it with them so that they can look it over so you can close the deal. Click on your side menu, come down to export to PDF. If you click on this, it's going to chop up that proposal nice and neat. Looks really great. You could print it out. You could attach it to an email. You could attach it to, you can mail it. Whatever you want to do with that PDF, it's entirely up to you. The way I suggest sharing it is by using this share button. When you click on share, it will automatically pull in the customer's email and phone number to this, to the transfer here. What you're able to do is you can copy this link to your clipboard, you can send email, or you can send text. The best part about this section here, and this is a really, really important piece, is that if you use send email or send text, what it will do is it will send them a view-only locked version of the proposal. So I'll say that again. It's a view-only locked version of the proposal. The customer will not be able to, access the side menu. They won't be able to change price. They won't be able to change any of that information. It just sends them a static version of the proposal. If you were to just copy this URL, and I'll show you, I'm going to copy this URL, and then what I'm going to do is enter Chrome incognito. I'm going to click on this, and then if I hit enter, you'll see that I will still be able to edit all these things if I copy that link. So I don't have my chat feature, and I can't request any closing documents, but I can edit the proposal. So you do not want to copy this link ever to share it with the customer unless you want them to be able to change things. You only want to use this share option because then it will send them a locked view-only version of the proposal. So that is really the proposal in a nutshell. There is a question section in the bottom of the screen there. What you can do in the notes sections, you can type in any questions you have. I don't have any here on my side. What I'll do is click back into this proposal. Just kind of flip through it really quick. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Anyone who's on the call, I appreciate you guys taking the time to be on the screen share and go through a live training with us. This will be posted live to our YouTube page, so you're able to edit that and view that if you want to at a later date. But I just want to thank you again for using Solo, for making the business what it is. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for your time. Anyway, we'll wrap these things up, and hope you have a great day.